So your duty as a man is to learn to have the weight of 100 men. How do you do? Improve and upgrade yourself. Because even if you come equal as a firstborn, you need to be more than a man.
Okay.
But you must be a firstborn.
So you must be firstborn Pro Max.
Pro Max. Empires are not built by love.
Nah.
Empires are built by principle. It is only the weak that say it's hard. But when we do bloodlines, when we do legacy building, there are laws to legacy building that don't adhere to emotion, that don't adhere to love.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Legacy Collective with Kanyisa. This is a platform where we talk about heal from and transform your legacies. Legacies that have been passed down to us, legacies that we are living out, and legacies that we're going to pass down to the next generation. And joining me today is the rated R Bishop Vincent Mafu, who's joining me for the second time for a very anticipated part 2 of our conversation. Bishop, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming back.
It's a pleasure.
Today in Tunywa, they literally sent me back to go fetch you.
Yes, ma'am.
So we can have this conversation, a continuation of this conversation that we had in part 1. And if you haven't seen part 1 of our conversation, please do go to the channel and look at our part 1. And so, Bishop, not only am I a Tunywa today, I was sent by very specific people, very important people who have a very significant role to play in society, in families, and in the bigger scheme of things. That's why I am, again, we the people, the firstborns have sent me.
Wow.
They want you to go deeper into our conversation the last time. You said something that made us explode in a very good way. You said that a firstborn daughter is worth 10 men. And a man that can handle a firstborn daughter has the strength of 100 men.
Yes.
Now, we're not only just going to talk about that, but we're going to just explore what the firstborn daughter office is. So today I represent Bomakadzi, Odlonkulu, Dikhadi, Libo Rakhadi, Libo Mamogolo of nations.
Yes.
And we're going to have this conversation. So thank you again for coming back.
Thank you.
Tell me, what's so important about the office of a firstborn daughter?
The pattern of the bloodline continues through that. So when we talk about the office of a firstborn, number one, the world suffers from a wound of patriarchy.
Sure.
And I think that most people, male and female, are pressured by the exasperating weight of carrying patriarchy.
Yeah.
Patriarchy itself is a wound. And because of that, it has distorted family functions, family roles, because of economics, because of capitalism, communism, whatever it is, the chase for the money, for the dollar. So when I talk about the office of a firstborn daughter, it's a suppressed office. It's an ignored office. It's something that is an invisible, visible frequency.
Yeah.
I've seen the numbers of frustrated men who can't handle firstborn women.
Yeah.
I've seen the frustration of boys carrying the wrath and broth of firstborn mothers. And I've not yet seen the dialogue that takes place to literally understand, understand, and overstand what a firstborn daughter is. 2, I've seen the syndromes of firstborn daughters.
Yeah.
EDS, Eldest Daughter Syndrome. I've seen them. It's that no one has had the balls to come forward and have this uncomfortable conversation of saying, what is it with the firstborn? Many men are angry. Many men are not talking. They are sitting in seats of silence because they have a firstborn woman in the house and they are trying to treat a firstborn woman as a normal woman. She's not a normal woman. Firstborn woman is an office, and even the office of a firstborn daughter is not a normal office.
Sure.
It's an abnormal office. So when I say a firstborn is a 10th, is worth 10 men, I mean it.
Yeah.
And now, you know, when people get married in the times we have this thing of double barrel, or we cancel your father's surname and then you put another surname. That is literally westernization. That is the income of property dynamics, the diagram of getting married and cancelling one. In an African setup, you don't cancel, you add.
Okay.
Yeah, when that's why you see that I'm married to Emieni. My wife is Mamien,
Yes.
Mamaf.
Yeah.
And based on the assignment, she vacillates between these two polarities.
Is that why Zulu
Yes.
then call their wives that?
Yes, because
Okay.
you're vacillating between two offices and polarities. Now, when I talk about a firstborn daughter, you realize that when it comes to selection of the heirs in royal houses, they are not involved.
Okay.
They look for an heir in men. It's a genderless office.
Okay.
The office of a firstborn is genderless. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, that's an office.
Yeah.
The problem that we've had is that we've proliferated the gender, the male gender, in the office of a firstborn. And we've said that firstborn women are immaterial. They don't proliferate the father's name. So if a man has girls only, the lineage has stopped. That's a lie.
Yeah.
There's no lineage that stops with a girl. A firstborn woman never leaves the crawl. She's dual. That's why we even do lobolo. You're not supposed to fully. She never comes out. One foot is in the father's house and the other foot is in the husband's house.
How does that work?
It's dual. It's a dual. That's why I said, she's worth 10.
Yeah.
Already women can multifaceted. They are multifaceted.
Yeah.
But when you look at her, you actually look at it now. No firstborn completely forgets her people.
Of course.
No matter how deep she is in her husband people, the other leg is always left behind because she never leaves the crawl. She's the boy that was not there. So when you look at the firstborn, the problem is that the office, we've put gender. Gender is a function of the material, but office is a function of the immaterial, the invisible.
Yeah.
And you realize that men have been, firstborns taste like men. Firstborn women taste like men. Ask any brother who's dating a firstborn now. He'll say, "Daughter, yeah, bo. She has the frequency of a man. And she's not supposed to marry a man. She's supposed to marry a double man. You must be twice a man to marry a firstborn, or she will carry you and make you a wife."
Sure.
So,
and I think that's the phenomenon we are finding in marriages today, in relationships today.
Firstborn dynamics.
People are saying, who must I marry as a firstborn daughter?
Yes.
Because if I marry this one, I feel like I'm mothering them. If I'm marrying this one, the scale is just not tipping correctly.
Yes.
How do you deal with this dual office? Through building your own father's legacy and building the legacy of your husband. How do you do that?
And they are not schooled.
Yeah.
I think that both the firstborn female and men, they need to understand. Actually, most firstborn women don't understand themselves.
Yes.
And they become relational experiments.
Yeah.
To men who don't know themselves. And they write experiments on the canvas of their lives because they don't know. We should school people on what a firstborn is. Rites of passage. If you look at the royal house now, they don't care. The office of a firstborn is genderless.
Yeah.
If you are queen, you are queen. If you are king, you are king. If we play chess, that office of queen and king, these are offices.
Yeah.
You don't lose it because of your gender. I think this wound of patriarch must be addressed. No firstborn woman loses that office of firstborn because she's a woman. And that is why most black families are going down because we've neglected this one. So a firstborn woman learns by experience, learns by pain, learns by tears.
Yeah.
By the time you look at many firstborn, they give up on relationships. They give up on men because already they've been emasculized. They say you taste like a man, daughter. You think you're the man.
They've taken the posture of masculinity.
And now they don't know what to do because why should she change? That's what a firstborn woman is. We should not be changing a firstborn. We should be embracing them. We are trying to break them into being something else that they are not. Their vibration, their configuration says lead.
Yeah.
It's invisible. It is an innate script that they function by. Lead the family, lead the crawl. She never leaves. You marry a firstborn, you thought you took a wife outside this family to build yours. No, sir. She has a dual calling. It's not double barrel. It's double function.
Sure.
So when a firstborn, you must be told that there's nothing a man has as a firstborn you don't have. I know that there'll be a lot of people that will think that I'm historically out. I'm not. I'm a historian. I study. But the problem is that patriarchy has corrupted our minds as a virus, and we have somehow made women and relegated women into second-class citizens that have no function, when in reality a firstborn woman is an altar, an ancestor. These are nation builders. These are strategists. These are the ones that have the information, the collective library of the bloodline. They are even more, a firstborn woman is much better than a firstborn man.
Yeah.
In literally defending the curriculums of the vision of a bloodline. A firstborn will do it easy. But the challenge of a firstborn is to find a man that can embrace a firstborn. And when you ask me and say, how do we teach a firstborn how to be a dual, just like we are doing now, you are a dual individual, you are a dual citizen. You are a citizen of your father's house and a citizen of your husband's house. And you need to have the wisdom and the equilibrium to pour equally on both homesteads. Just like a firstborn son, when you are dating a firstborn son, you are dating the ambassador of the family. That's a deputy father. Can I say this? A firstborn woman by frequency is male. And she is a deputy father. When you become a firstborn woman, this is, stop me genderizing it and say putting sexualizing terminology.
Yeah.
When you are a firstborn daughter, you are a deputy father. And make sure you marry a man that can envelope a father. Woe unto a firstborn woman who marries a man who's never had a father in the house. That a catastrophe, a frustration for her, an imposition for the man.
Sure. Many firstborn women are frustrated.
Yes.
They're frustrated by relationships. Like you said, they've given up completely. The feedback we've been getting from them is that, oh, no wonder I'm single. No wonder a man can't carry me for 2 weeks.
Yes.
By the time 2 weeks is over, I can see he's a joker.
Yes.
What kind of firstborns are they? Before we even go into relationally, let's come back to the definition of firstborns. Are there different kinds of firstborns that exist in families?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, by definition of a firstborn is anything or anyone or anything male or animal. I mean, man or animal. Anything that breaks the matrix is a firstborn. Anything that comes out of a womb. Therefore, only a woman determines a firstborn, not a man. It is that which carries uterus that determines the firstborn. So the one that breaks the womb and comes out first is a firstborn. So if you came out of the womb first, so one man can have 7 firstborns, but a woman only has 1 firstborn.
Like in the case of Istembu.
Or baby planting. There are these baby donors, baby maker, men who are baby makers. Who literally have leaking internal plumbing, and they just plant their seeds anyway. Then they can have just firstborns. These are curse makers. Now, a woman in a lifetime will only have 1 firstborn in her entire lifetime, the one that broke the matrix. It can be the firstborn of the husband you have now, but it's not a firstborn by the curriculums of life.
Okay.
If it comes out first from the womb, that's a firstborn.
So, let me give you an example. So, I've lost a daughter.
Yeah.
She was obviously my firstborn.
Yes.
When I have other kids, will the child that comes after her be called a firstborn?
Yes, that's a firstborn by default.
Okay.
Meaning to say that the original firstborn, by the happenstance of life, they transitioned and they left.
Yeah.
Then the one that remains becomes what I call a firstborn by death or a firstborn by default. That happens in a situation of a miscarriage. That happens in death, the loss of a child. And that also happens in abortion. Then the ones that come after are firstborns by default. There are varying dynamics that need to be applied in these instances, because whatever took the firstborn has not been addressed. It will always know the address of the one that is there. And that type of firstborn also carries a dual calling, because you are carrying the mantle of the one that deceased and you are carrying yours. The seat you have is not yours. You are a firstborn by default. So you've got a double.
By proxy.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a firstborn by default. Then you've got a firstborn by polygamy. Firstborn by polygamy, meaning to say that one man has 7 firstborns from different women.
Yeah.
All these are firstborns. There will be a lot of sibling rivalry in this one. There will be a lot of witchcraft in this one, because each mother wants their son to be the one.
Yeah.
In a usual setup, Undlunkulu, meaning the first wife's firstborn,
Yeah.
is supposed to be the crown prince, but the Calabash may not choose them. It differs. So, firstborn by polygamy, very much competition, favoritism, sibling rivalry, the Joseph syndrome, half brothers, step brothers, and all these dynamics.
Yeah.
It's a complex because many people don't know how to place tembuvel, because kids that come from the setup of polygamy, they are stuck in the fights of the wives to get the approval of the men. They become instruments of being seen. So we've got children called Simeon, see me.
Yeah.
Connect with me. Reuben, see me. Levi, be connected to me. So the kids are statements of the mother to the man.
Oh.
Instead of being appreciated, enjoyed, and seen, the mother uses them as conduits to get the favor of the man. So there are a lot of dynamics in a polygamy setup.
Yeah.
Then there is a firstborn who's a figurehead firstborn. You are firstborn, but you don't have the function of a firstborn. You are there, but useless. You are a figurehead. You are a number. By the curriculums of life has put, and actually, let me pause and say, if you look at many firstborns, they are heavily challenged. Most firstborns, you realize that sometimes the firstborn is not as successful as the lastborn. Yes, they are a good number because firstborns make good leaders.
Yes.
Firstborn make good CEOs.
And are resilient.
Yes. All leadership material is there because you're already groomed by that.
Yeah.
But if you look at many families, firstborns there is a figurehead firstborn where the firstborn is being taken, the siblings take care of the firstborn. That's an upside down arrangement.
Yes.
And whenever a firstborn is not established than the others, the family is following a wrong script.
Sure.
That's a figurehead firstborn. Then we have firstborns. I don't know where I'll put this one. There are firstborns that are there by the pronouncement of the father.
Okay.
Because a father can change the arrangement of the womb. A man can look at a fourthborn and pull him by success and realize that by wealth, by accomplishment, you are better than all. And he can say, without you, this family is nothing.
Sure.
And says, you are the strength of this family. No meeting takes place when this one is not there. Nothing moves until this one says, this one is firstborn by pronouncement. And you have to be careful as parents, because sometimes you nominate firstborns and rearrange the birth order. You see it in scripture, Genesis 49, whereby an old man sitting on the sunset days of his life looks at his boy and says, Reuben, you slept with my concubine, Bilhah. I disinherit you. I strip you of firstborn rights. And he took them and gave them to the sons of Joseph. So a father can literally rearrange the order of the family and say, you are firstborn by birth, but this one is firstborn by my choice. And even God comes into compliance, because a man is a deputy God on earth.
Yeah.
A father, what a father speaks, God complies to.
Yeah.
So if a man looks and says, I'm rearranging, I'm taking what's yours and I'm giving it to that one. And there are many families now. I've seen kings who are about to die. You see the scissors. You see the battle of the crown. Bathsheba is fighting, saying, but you said this one will be king. Before you die, pronounce it and make him king. So a man can literally rearrange. I know your firstborn is, but this one, because an office.
Yeah.
And every office is a person who inaugurates it, and that's your father. It is your father that planted the seeds. It's your father that can rename the seeds. So this is a firstborn by pronouncement, where you can be pronounced and made a firstborn.
king.
Then there's a firstborn by royalty.
Yeah.
Then there's a firstborn by marriage. In your father's marriage, you are the firstborn.
Okay.
But by right, you are not a firstborn. Meaning this comes especially with merged families. That no, we're firstborn, but they are you can be the firstborn of a marriage.
Oh, like a blended family.
A blended family. This woman comes 4 children. This man comes with 2. Then they have their own kids. That is the firstborn of the marriage. But that's not a firstborn by function of the man, but that's a firstborn of the marriage.
Yeah.
You see, so that's
not a firstborn by the function of the woman either. They are not the womb breaker either.
Yes, or the man.
Yeah.
But they're the firstborn of this marriage. That in this marriage union of these 2 ancestral houses coming together, I am the firstborn. I'm the first fruits of
Do
this.
they then assume the office then of the firstborn?
Yes, of the union.
Okay, so they become the firstborn of the union.
Yes.
What about the firstborn that broke the womb, if they are there?
and that is where you see a problem in marriage, is when in families where people come together. The big guys say, no, I'm the firstborn here.
Yes.
And this one also, no, I'm the and then favoritism and things. Yeah. In such a position now, a man that gets married with children, and then a woman that gets married with children should not bring her children to this marriage. Ingane zoma, unless she was divorced. Because if a woman has children before, they are not hers if the man didn't claim them and lobola them.
Yeah.
Ngabakamalume.
Yeah.
They don't enter marriage. And when she enters into marriage with a man that has kids, her kids, if she has kids with him, her kids are not firstborn. And that is where will is important. That is where family dynamics are important.
How practical is that though? I don't imagine myself leaving my kids outside of, like, not going with them into a marriage or a place where I'm going to exist.
Yes, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's the law of the blood.
Yeah.
If you look at the law of the jungle, lions, they never allow the bloodline of a previous lion to nature is very harsh. The problem is that we don't follow the dynamics of nature, we follow love. And love is a very dangerous component for building families. Empires are not built by love.
Nah.
Empires are built by principle. It is only the weak that say it's hard. But when we do bloodlines, when we do legacy building, there are laws to legacy building that don't adhere to emotion, that don't adhere to love. So when we talk about building families, the reason why we have this mishmash, the reason why we have incestuous relationship taking place in the house is because we are violating the very principles. If a mother gets into marriage, you come into marriage with a 12-year-old girl, 15-year-old girl, ushati le ndoda le, you think that you will respect that girl as his daughter? No, that's a fresh version of you. That's a sweeter version of you. And by the time you see, he'll start seeing as you go down, as she goes up, he will see a revised version of you in the daughter. It's not sin. It's not daughter. It's manhood. I am seeing a fresh, and I'm not the one who planted her. So you came with a twin version of yourself. And you are thinking that we are gonna like, we're selling malume, or you are bringing problems in your house. This is not incest. This is genes. This is perpetuity. He will see a fresh version of you that was planted by someone not related to him. This child is not related. It's like your sister. Yeah. To him, there's no difference and fresher and younger. So for me, I'm telling you, this is about bloodlines. This is about focusing. These are the problems. These are the demons. These are the secret issues we have at homes because of love. Yeah. Building home. Hey, I love you both. I love you both. That's foolishness. That's foolishness. I am into legacy. I am into giving you true advice. Yingozi, ma'am.
Yes.
To have your 16-year-old with this guy, akuthandayo, shiya lengane ekhaya, or this woman, this young girl, will be used as a weapon to break your family.
You know, when you say that, I think about how the circle of firstborn and the things that happen to us perpetuate themselves. Because what you are then saying is that I must abandon this child and take them back to my parents' house.
Yes.
Right? Not because I don't love them.
Yes.
But this is a different kind of abandonment that is probably similar to how we would be abandoned.
Yes.
By our parents who were going to find work, who were going to school.
Exactly.
Sakhuliswa ngabomkhulu nabogogo, and the same pattern sort of repeats itself.
Absolutely.
And I want us to talk about that, the consequences of that, and how it groomed us as firstborns, yes. Right? We have acute amounts of abandonment issues. Yeah. Yeah. We are contested like no other. And we have rejection, yes, as well, depending on how we were left, how we were raised. In legacy building, when we're trying to solve those problems, yeah, how do we show up as firstborns, having had gone through that kind of situation? Yes,
this is truth and consequences.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is that every action is a consequence.
Yeah.
And when we produce firstborns with women we don't marry, there will be consequences. The problem that we try to do we try to apply the principle of someone who started within a family setup.
Yes.
And then you create further damage. Because these firstborn, there are firstborns who have been engrafted that have serious leakage, serious emotional leakage because of being engrafted.
Yes.
And they violated the law of legacy. This is legacy.
Yeah.
And what you are saying now is, how do we do that? Because the true narrative is that most firstborns
Yes.
they were raised by okoko.
Most of us.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Because probably the parents were not ready.
Yeah.
It was a high school fling. It was love. Most firstborns are fruits of passion, but not fruits of legacy.
Yeah.
They are fruits of youth. They are not fruits of maturity. The parents had not yet condensed with the brain matter. They were not condensed. So they are still also soft topsoil sperm products of an immature guy who was immature, an immature woman. But they are lives. They are here. Then they are taken to be raised by Ukoko, who's living in the sunset stage, who no longer has the strength to raise you as they would raise their own. Now, when firstborns go through that, they start to have wounds. So I would say this to answer your question. Most firstborns need therapy of 4 major wounds. Most firstborns have got mother wounds. Because you've got mother gaps, you are co-parents or no parents at all, because based on how many siblings were in your house, family blending dynamics, then you have migrational relational patterns because you're being passed on. Then you see your mother married, and then you see other siblings, and then you are split. Then you've got the rejection issues. Why am I not home? And when you are there is this thing that my surname and my siblings. These are the dynamics of firstborns.
Yeah.
So most firstborns need to come to terms with the wounds that inflict a firstborn. And they are customized for firstborns.
Yeah.
The mother wound. It's a mother wound, the wound of abandonment. What's a mother wound? A mother wound is the wound that evolves in a child. In this case scenario, being a firstborn daughter who never had a connection with their mother and had a mother connection with the grandmother. So she says mom to granny. That's a wound. Actually, anyone who calls their grandmother mom, you are injured. You've got a mother wound. You are bleeding in strange places. And you bleed on people who didn't cut you. And sometimes you are not aware of this soul leakage. So any firstborn who calls Ukoko mom, you are wounded. You have a mother wound. Then you have a father wound. Meaning to say you no longer know how to receive covering from a man because you already supplemented that. And some of you actually mothered your father. So you have these wounds. So these are, you have to be comfortable as a firstborn woman, since this is for firstborn females. We will have for men. But this firstborn females, because this is a national plague.
Yeah, it's a crisis.
Where you've got a father wound, a mother wound, then you've got a grandmother wound.
Hi, Bo.
Yeah, because you're calling granny mom. So it means that you don't have an experience of a gran.
Yeah.
Already, you don't have the deposits of a gran. So everything in your mind is in reverse mode.
Sure.
It's an upside down arrangement.
Yeah.
As a firstborn. 2, not 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
You don't know how to love a man. You know how to parent a man because you're parentified. Most firstborn daughters are parentified. They don't understand that they are vibrating parenthood through and through. You are parents everywhere. Any relationship, you bring a parent. You date a man, you bring a parent. You get into a job, you bring a parent. You are friends with your clique, you bring a parent. Because you are parentified. So you assume the responsibility of saying, I'm parent here. I cover you here. You have a party, you are the last to eat, and sometimes you forget to eat.
Yeah.
So that parentification is what a firstborn does. You literally parentify your relationships. You bleed your parent everywhere, even where it's not necessary.
Yeah.
For 6, vulnerability is a very big issue. So men get frustrated in getting you to be just vulnerable.
Broken.
You are just a superwoman through and through.
Yeah.
Superwoman through and through. And I know that every hero is their own kryptonite. And what is yours? Not being needed. You live on the pulse of being needed.
Yeah, sure.
And sometimes you outlive yourself trying to please those that don't have a grace to receive you. God, I feel that one. So these are things. The greatest... oh, God, I don't know. Firstborn females have a problem. They're not even enough to themselves. You are not. You live with perfectionism. You live with self-mutilation, and you judge yourself harshly. And you are not enough to yourself, so you don't trust yourself to be enough to another.
That's true.
Oh, God help me. So firstborn,
You know what? My heart has been bumping fast
is Vevezeli.
because you think you've got this thing on lockdown.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember. So the channel got to 1K subscribers about a week ago or so, right? And I have learned that I am one person who, in my circle, family, friendships, everywhere, if they're saying ingane yako has one tooth out, I'm buying a cake.
Yeah.
And we're lilizeling, I'm there for you. If they're saying you passed one module, we're celebrating you, right? And I realized how I find it so difficult to celebrate myself.
Yeah.
And I always just downplay the achievement.
Yeah.
And it's a
syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah. You downplay yourself, and sometimes you don't know how to receive it. Even if someone decodes you and someone wants to love you,
Yes.
the way a firstborn, I can tell you this, even a guy who goes to school to love a firstborn, if they give him, the firstborn will not know how to receive that guy because you downplay.
Yes.
And sometimes you play like you don't know how to receive a compliment.
Yes.
And you downplay it. And sometimes you feed as you die in secret.
Yes.
Because you teach everyone
that you're
that you are okay. And when you are not okay, most of the time you are ignored because you don't know to say, guys, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
When your emotional tank, your love tank, your think tank, your strength tank is empty, you behave as if it's a full tank.
Yeah.
You don't flash red on the dashboard of life. Because that you're empty.
I can't afford to be caught sinking.
According to who? According to grooming.
Yes.
That's a grooming.
Yes. Because I'm a parent.
Yeah. And firstborns are parents with no children.
Yes.
You got to catch that.
Yes.
Firstborn women are parents with no children.
Yes. And by the time our children arrive, we are tired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes your children don't get the full broth of what you have because you are half full of pouring into others. And actually, can I say something to your viewers that is heavy?
Yeah.
The first parents of firstborn are the parents themselves.
Yes.
Your parents are your children. When your parents are fighting, they call you. Now you find yourself a referee between parents. So now you've got a parent gap because you learned how to be a referee between your mother and your father.
And we get to know
you get to know things that you're not supposed to. You are exposed. The Bible says, thou shalt not uncover your daughter.
Yeah.
Now, that word uncovering, if you study the theological, didactic, etymological mindset behind that narrative of uncovering, the writers had peeling a banana. When you take a banana, you peel it.
Yeah.
You know, when you peel a banana to eat it, it's called uncovering the banana. And the same mindset in exposing a child to something they don't have the mental vocabulary to decode, we call it uncovering. And when you expose a firstborn to the fights of the mother, your dad is cheating, your dad is woman. I've seen women telling their daughters, your father's a dog.
Yeah.
Your father is cheating.
Yeah.
Look at your father's girlfriend. You are exposing your child to something that they don't have the emotional and mental vocabulary to decode. This is my dad. This is the hero. And now you are telling me things about my father I should not know.
Yeah.
You are literally, your mother is uncovering your father to you, damaging the husband that you might marry. Because now what happened is that, and she thinks she's actually venting, but she's venting on the wrong platform.
Yes.
And you'll be shocked of firstborn daughters who were overburdened by the nakedness of their father. And no daughter is designed to see the nakedness of the father. Once you are exposed to the nakedness of your father, you perpetuate and literally attract that, proliferate that. You are whatever you are exposed to, you become. By beholding, we change. By beholding, we become. Your mother did you a disservice by telling you about your father's junk, because that becomes your attraction. That becomes your masculine frequency.
I was about to say that, does that then attract the kind of men we want in our life?
Subliminal configuration.
Yeah.
Yes. You'll find yourself being attracted to the same type of frequency.
Yeah.
Because your mother's tears falling on you baptize you for that kind of man. By your mother crying on your head, by your mother crying about your father, she's literally spiritually baptizing you to be able to handle that which she handled.
Yes.
So it's something, these are sins.
And even if I don't find it in my husband, I'm going to dig it out.
You will dig it out, or you will
Because
turn it into that. You will tell me.
Yeah.
This is two things.
Yes.
It's either you'll dig it out or you'll make him.
Yeah.
You'll make him. Yeah, you'll make him that. Or you will be led by a nebulous, invisible frequency that no man will ever do this to me. Even if God gives you a saint, you will treat him like how your father was. That
Yes.
no, I saw it from my mother. Even if he's not a cheater, you will treat him as one. In the process, make him one.
Yeah.
So these are dynamics of firstborns.
Yeah.
When you literally see the nakedness of your father, you parent your parents, and now you realize that now you are devoid of being a child. Your childhood is stolen. This is what I say. Firstborn daughters suffer from the scripts of stolen childhood. The dimension of being a child is stolen. Sometimes you'll find that the firstborn daughter was co-parenting the other siblings.
Yes.
When your father do the homework with them, help that one with this, you think that's okay. But no, that's parentification, because who's helping you do your homework while you're helping them do their homework? Point to that one, point to that one. So you're already playing a role of a parent without the vocabulary of what's happening. The problem with that is the sublimation, the subliminal alteration that takes place in you as you are playing these parent roles. As you are doing this, you're already too heavy for a man. You're already too heavy for your size. You're already too heavy because you already have your kids that you don't have. Your siblings are your kids. Your parents are your kids. When your father is fighting, oh please, oh mama, you are with your. Oh, sorry, babe. Now, if you are carrying your father's tears, you are Dr. Phil to your mother all your life, and then you've got this poor guy that comes to you and imprinted with the hell of your house, and this guy has no experience at all dealing with himself, let alone your father's weight, your mother's weight, your siblings' weight. You taste like a man, you are a man. A firstborn woman, he is a man. By principle, by taste, by flavor, by color, by microscopic orientation, you are a man.
But we want men.
We want
men. We want to build families. We want to build legacies.
I asked one lady I was counseling. She was crying about this player guy, but she wanted him. I said, are you addicted to his personality or his because sometimes you want his penis, not him. So he's just a human vibrator. Most of you and this thing of saying you want men, most firstborn women want the idea of a man, not a man. They want the concept of a man. They want the concept of umshad, not umshad. They just want to be needed. You just want to be useful. Remember, don't confuse love for being needed. And many firstborns think that in being needed, they are loved.
We don't even know how to be loved without being needed.
No, you don't hear performance-based love.
Yes.
You have to be doing.
And we have to be performing.
Instead of being. Firstborns don't know how to be. They know how to do.
Yes, that's true.
And we need to reconfigure firstborns to be, not do. Because all your life you've been doing.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to receive when they do it for you. That's a wound, a firstborn wound. And I've seen this wound in marriage. I've seen it. That's why they make the best CEOs.
Yes.
They'll go there, they'll run that company like their home.
Yep.
Yeah. And the problem with the firstborn EDS, Eldest Daughter Syndrome, firstborn female womb, this is for women, right? Because the dynamics change when it's a guy.
Yeah.
Most of them, they change. The frustration of husbands that I see as a therapist every day in my office, that my husband, I feel like a child. When she talks to me, it's like, Kaya zindawo yake. I ask her, indawo yake yini? The West Union is a firstborn and a lastborn. Yeah. It's especially if you've got a lastborn who wants to prove a point as a boy, that I'm a man. And then you've got a firstborn woman who's the leader all her life, and you want that position. If you did not have a father in your house, if you don't have a grandfather, you're not qualified to handle a firstborn. Actually, I always say this: for you to handle a firstborn woman, not even a man, a father, because most of them were raised by not by uba. If you don't have the weight and the wisdom of an ancient one. And another thing, Kanye, is that a lot of boys today have been raised by okoko.
Yes. So the girls were raised by ukoko nomkhulu.
Yes, or umkoko or umkhulu.
Yes, and then the boys,
The boys, they have no men in the house.
they have no men in
Yeah,
the
they were raised
house.
by ukoko or by a woman.
So they must now show up as umkhulu in this marriage.
Or they, oh, no.
Uh-huh.
They must show up as a, just imagine them. Let's just put the scenario.
Yeah.
There's this scenario you've put here. Then they show up as a husband. Don't worry about umkhulu.
Yeah.
They pitch and sound to be your husband. What is husband? House band, the one that holds the house band together. Husband is the band that holds the house together. It says hold this house together. She's been holding this house heavy. You have no clue how to be a man. The house you came from, there was no man, and you are coming into the life of this compound rhino,
Who's already
this compound buffalo,
a compound.
who's been holding houses together.
Yeah.
And you say, I want to be your man. You want to be her man. You've never seen a man in your life. And only that which smells and tastes like a man can carry this. Do you know why many men are emotionally locked, emotionally docilized, emotionally mute, emotionally unavailable? It's because they come home and they write the test of manhood by a firstborn, because a firstborn woman is a test of masculinity. How much of a man are you?
Sure.
Yeah, let me say it. There are many men who be angry. I say this is the truth. Go and marry a lastborn. Go and marry a daddy's girl. Don't marry a firstborn. That's a test of masculinity that we are failing dismally because we don't have the material to carry them. The majority of men now don't know how to carry a woman, let alone a firstborn. You want to come here and carry a mkabai. A firstborn is the mkabais. These are strategies.
Is that why then the men go cheat with women that are much younger than them?
Exactly. Because they are trying to compensate a lack of manhood they lost in the firstborn woman.
So
when they go there, they're actually trying to redeem a part of themselves they lost. And unfortunately, they never win. This girl pays the price. And this girl herself, she pays the price of a woman she will never be. And actually, the greatest statement of self-hate is a man who fails the test of a real woman and tries to remake his manhood with a little girl. That's actually telling your size. You can't handle man stuff. You play with boys. Any guy who leaves a woman God gave you and you failed the test of manhood, so is because the little boy in you is all you are. You don't have the material of a man to step up to the plate and please a real woman.
Let's give them the material of a man. What infrastructure, spiritual infrastructure, emotional infrastructure, mental infrastructure does a man need to handle a firstborn woman?
First of all, you must be a man. And second, you must deal with your wounds. Do not enter into a relationship with a firstborn woman with areas of wounding you have. Deal with your childhood issues. Deal with your rejection issues. Deal with your insecurity issues. Because that will exacerbate it. You'll self-explode. So if you are going to say, I must give you the material, before you even go to the woman, are you man enough? When? Because there's a difference between a boy, a male, and a man. There's a difference.
Yeah.
So some people look like men when they're literally boys. You are driving a car. A firstborn wants to know what drives you. They are not moved by the car. Yes, the car may be beautiful, but is there anything more? And boys hide with toys because men play with toys all their life. They just get expensive as they grow. So if you are going to ask me what material man, how much man are you? How much have you gone through the rites of passage of a man? And what about and cut your because many men think that is the only gauge of a man.
Yeah. That's
stupidity, nonsensical rhetoric ever.
Yeah.
If you think that little thing in between your legs is what you need, you will not hold an erection for 5 minutes. And if you think that you want to prove to a woman or to your daughter, 5 minutes.
With that, yeah.
In 24 hours, 5 minutes to prove. What are you going to do with the other 23 hours, 55 minutes? More, after 5 minutes of a hectic ejaculation, if 10 minutes, you still have 23 hours to prove your manhood. So if a man is going to gauge his masculinity to a woman, let alone a firstborn, by to think that 5 minutes, if you are lucky 8 minutes of a good erection, you still have 23 hours to employ your brain. Because the penis you only employ 5 minutes is retire.
Yeah.
The brain, it has 23 hours and 50 minutes if you use 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What the hell are you going to do? So if we are going to say there must be a rites of passage, there must be a school of manhood. Our rites of passage are very important in training men. Yeah. In the curriculum of rites of passage, it's not just about going to the mountain. It's about sitting down and saying, understand yourself, number one. Understand You are always judging a man by the size of and I always say a man's esteem is always connected. You are a very stressed man. Very stressed man. That's it. I'm telling you. If they go to a gynecologist, if they go now to a urologist who's a female, you know what they do? They try and get a hard on first before they get examined because they're trying to compensate extra power. There's a principle here.
Okay.
I was talking to one doctor, urologist. He said, guys, you are fun. I've seen guys who try to make themselves hard so that when she's examining him, come on.
Oh.
And she sees that. But can I tell you what the mentality behind that?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we try to do. We try to overcompensate not being good enough by extra getting a hard on. So we try to get a hard on with money. We try to get a hard on. That is false ego stretch. We are literally having a false ego stretch because into me already, even in a place where I need to get help.
Yeah.
If it's a female doctor, then I'm not thinking yeah, you are dying, sir. There's no place of trying to be made here. As little willy as he is, open up and let him help you.
Yes.
This is the type of mentality, ego stretching, for false facades of manhood, false illusions of success. That is killing us. By the time I go to a firstborn, ngine mota, ngile 3, ngile mali, ngila loku, and it doesn't move. I get angry. I hate you because all of these things are not moving you. It moves girls, but it does not move a woman. It moves females. A woman is an office. A wife is a dimension. Yeah. So when my toys that worked with the little girls, those little secretaries, who just have 5% of womanhood, a firstborn woman won't touch that.
Yeah.
Suzuba frustrated because you're trying to impress her with toys and she's trying to see the inner furniture of your soul. Who are you? There's nothing.
Yeah. And there is, though, this concept where firstborn women normally fall for narcissists. Why is that?
Because the narcissist has got enough steam to tame her.
Okay.
The reason why many firstborn, and hear me, that's most of them here, narcissists are the best match for firstborns. Yeah. Because a narcissist is emotionally detached. And a firstborn woman needs to find a place of being needed, of being seen. So when the narcissist is giving you silent treatment, when the narcissist is not looking at you, and when the narcissist is ill-treating you, they have been able to break you, and your ego won't allow you to leave a narcissist unmade. So you are chronically addicted to that poison the narcissist is giving you.
So they're an addiction.
It's an addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, firstborns are fueled by the fuel of being needed, and they confuse being needed as being loved. The narcissist, unfortunately, does not give you that crap.
Yeah.
And they will keep you in a perpetual state. A narcissist is a psychologically skilled individual to win anyone, not just a firstborn. They are dangerous. A narcissist, let me say this. A narcissist is a dangerous man for any female. Worse off a firstborn.
Yeah.
Because they don't come as a narcissist. You ignore the red flags. And once a firstborn lets themselves down by loving a person, it's very difficult for them to unlove because a firstborns take failure seriously. Most firstborns are in marriages that died a long time ago because they cannot fail. A firstborn is ruled by the fear of failure. So they will stay there, even if it's dead, for the sake of looking like, I got it.
Yeah.
A firstborn, the fear of failure is a pulse of a firstborn daughter. So all my sister's marriage failed, not one. Not one.
Yeah.
Why?
Or can't fail because if mine fails, my siblings will think I'm a failure.
Because you don't live for you live for eyes. You live for the ones watching you. Actually, a firstborn is a cinema in her head that she thinks that other people are watching the movie and they have to finish it as a heroine.
Yeah.
And they have to finish as a starring. And they cannot die in this movie. They cannot fail in this movie. They have imposed impossible rules for them.
Oh, but we're dying.
And they are literally held captive. And they are the very prison wardens of their own prisons.
And we're dying, yo.
And they're dying in secret. Loudly so. Loudly so. It's a pandemic. It's a pandemic. Failed marriages, I've seen, failed completely, but they are stuck because they cannot accept failure.
Yeah.
Some of them date men who abuse them, beat them. They can't. They will say, I fell down the stairs in a house that is not a double story, trying to protect an abusive man. That's a firstborn daughter.
Yeah.
We see it.
Yeah.
They are good actors. If Hollywood needs actors, firstborn nominated, they good actors. They are actors on stage.
And they're very dysfunctional. So now I'm
It's called group
we
dysfunction.
are very dysfunctional. You spoke about 6 types of dysfunctional women,
Yes.
and one of the, I think 3 of them I could pick out that a firstborn woman would actually be a very good fit. One of them was the healer. We like finding projects and men that are broken, and we think to the last day of our breath, we will fix this man and make them what we want them to be. We pick them up in shebins, and we think we can take them to the temple. And then we've got these ones that, what do you call it? That give up the cookie the first day and tell you that they can't live without you. What do you call it?
Hot in the pants.
Hot in the pants.
Ngosiam.
That's a dysfunction.
Yes, it is.
Are we looking for our fathers in those pants?
Absolutely. Because remember, they never have a father.
Yeah.
And they don't even know the father when they find him. Because they don't have a template for a father. A father to them is a child. When a firstborn finds a man, and I wanted to say this point in the other one of saying these boys that our Christian Okoko Oma, they taste like women, most of these guys. Most men, and I'm not talking about sexualization or gender, I'm talking about functionality. I'm talking about the ingredients of function. When you find a man who's been raised by women in the house, they taste like a woman, even if they're a man.
Yes.
The most horrible thing is for a man who tastes like a woman to marry a firstborn. She will make you a wife, and you will try to fight it. Because when she tastes you, she won't taste a man. Yeah. She will taste a woman, automatically she will wife you. And now you I feel like there are 2 men here. Yeah. I feel like I'm not respecting this house. Sir, respect is not something you ask from a woman. I want to pause very much to address GBV, dimensions, and frequency. I keep hearing men saying that my wife does not respect me. My wife does not respect me. In my study, I've realized all women intricately are made. When they step in the realm of power, it comes as an automatic response.
Yes.
Respect comes like automatic. And the true ingredient to masculinity is power. If you want to know what a firstborn responds to in a man, it's power. I'll repeat myself. 1, in my book, The Demons in a Man's Mind, I write, when you looked at the back-breaking system of slave-making men in American slavery, when they would break the back or break a man, they would strip him of his power. It was called back-breaking. They would break him in front of his son and his wife, pregnant wife thing. When they broke that man, it literally removed the power dynamic from the man. Yeah. And without power, a man does not transform into a man. He forever remains a male. Yeah. You become a factor of production. So if we remove the power construct from a man, you may drive a car, you may have money, but if you don't have power, you are shallow, you are not a man. So therefore, most men think power is money. Most men think power is the ability to have many women. No, sir. Power is the ability to command things to happen at your appearance, to make sure that destiny takes place. Power is an invisible frequency that when you appear, things happen. Yes. And when that is taken, and that is what the firstborn is looking for. And many men, especially black men, by capitalism, by colonization, by slavery, men have lost power. And when you just watch and see how many men will be angered by this statement. Yeah. Right? Write this statement, note it down. Every time I talk about power, they don't even understand what it is. They think it's an attitude, arrogance. Oh, yes. Power is a function. Yeah. Power is the invisible frequency that most men lost through colonization. You don't know how to build a homestead. You don't know how to hold it together. Yeah. You see, I always say to men, even if you are stressed, do not show your woman that you are stressed. Okay. Because you are the captain of that house. No matter how things are bad, if you say we got it, it's fine. When you have no clue, there are realms a man cries. There are tears your wife must never see as a man. Okay. Because men cry in the dark. You need another man that gives you the grace to cry as a man and rise up as a man. When you cry to a woman, you rise up as a boy. There are tears. So I'm talking about the dynamics of power, which we don't have. We don't even understand what power is.
Yeah.
That is what
We
we
think-
say abelungu have. It's not money.
Yeah.
The ability for generational wealth to command. That's what, to be legacy oriented.
Yeah.
To be
Oh, budom dala man.
opudomdala. Now
That steps into a room.
uyabona ke.
Makakhuluma kuyalalelwa.
Yipha engikhuluma ngayo.
Yeah.
I saw my ethi ngicela ukukhuluma. Ubona ukuthi no something a lion's roar. You see, the problem is that we've got lions
Yeah.
that has been raised as pussycats.
Mm.
And the only way to awaken a lion that has been raised as a pussycat is for a lion to roar. Our community does not have lions that roar to remind the little lions acting as pussycats that, oh no, we are lions. I'm a firstborn are waiting for that roar. Firstborn women need a roar.
Yeah.
That roar, that's a lion that can raise the cubs. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah. Ayikho.
Power.
Ayikho ngosema ayikho.
Power is the cure. If you want me to say so, power is the cure to dating a firstborn. And power is not beating her. Power is the invisible God masculinity that you must exude. I call it God-like masculinity.
Yeah.
If that you have any firstborn, that is why these pastors are taking those women.
Mm.
What are they doing? They are demi-deities in churches. And the woman who's a CEO responding to a pastor who does not have a college degree. What is that? Is power.
Calling them papa.
Calling them papa.
Oh, because we want to papas. I speak on behalf of all firstborn daughters. We want papas.
Say it again.
We
That's what I
want
say.
fathers.
And I said, a firstborn, if you're dating her, tastes like a father.
Yeah.
Know how to, because a firstborn needs the child in her to cleave to the parent in the man she finds. And the problem is that most firstborns date men that don't have parents. So the one that steps up is the parent in her. The day a firstborn tastes a man who tastes like a father, she steps back and the child in her cleaves to the parent in him. That's not there in homes. You are sulking, boy. Awukhumila, boy. Throwing tantrums, boy. You are a guy. Awukhuluma endlini. Uzondile. You have a firstborn. That's an annoyance.
Yeah.
You are sulking. Silent syndrome. And you say you want your woman to respect you as a woman. Grow up.
So what's the right order? Firstborn daughter and firstborn son? Does that work?
Yes. Firstborn is very good. I will say this.
Won't they be bulls in the same house?
Well, that is why I'm saying the firstborn man must be more than a man. Nitemina, if you find a firstborn, you need to learn to be worth 100 men.
Yeah.
So your duty as a man is to learn to have the weight of 100 men. How to improve and upgrade yourself. Because even if you come equal as a firstborn, uzokhula.
Yeah.
You need to be more than a man.
Okay.
But you must be a firstborn.
So when you must be firstborn Pro Max.
Pro Max. And number two, you must be someone who has been exposed to firstborn environments.
Sure.
If you are not a firstborn, make sure you are exposed to firstborn frequency, firstborn dynamics, because it's a complex realm.
Yeah.
Like the way she talks to you. She speaks with command. It is the configuration of the office that you hold. Any behavior contrary to her being that is malfunction.
Firstborn daughter and secondborn son?
Firstborn daughter, secondborn son sometimes can work because the secondborn son is already used to being spoiled. So he can stay back and enjoy it. Contention can happen with the firstborn son if he's not strong. But if a firstborn woman marries a second boy born, this one here, goes in this realm. Because this is not a universal, what I'm saying is not conclusive. People are different. But just in the small case studies I've done, I've written a book on this, it's to be published soon. Now, you realize this, that firstborns, secondborn syndrome, is that you receive the leftovers of the firstborn. When your parents have a firstborn, usually in a good family setup, the firstborn gets the cream.
Yes.
Everything. Then parents start to be, to drop the standard, say, no, you don't die. So now you realize that you don't get the attention that the firstborn got when they had, if it was a good family unit. So now what happens is that most of the things the firstborn has, secondborn are the leftovers of the firstborn. If he's ruled by a passion to prove himself, Ingos. Because now you want to receive this frequency. Because all his life he was sidelined by the firstborn.
And so the firstborn daughter will show up as if still undermining him.
Because he's still living in the shadow of that one.
And he has enough motivation to prove that he's the man, to prove that he's actually not the second.
It can vacillate into it. So he can either step up or he can literally try to break you.
Aro divorce ang kamuka. Tome from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like Reme line Q firstborn, second,
No, yeah.
second born.
Yeah, when you firstborn, the firstborn in. Actually, we spoke this in the constellation of the wombs in our first session, that by right we only have firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn. Then it repeats itself.
Okay. Okay.
The
fourth born is a firstborn.
The fourth born is a firstborn.
Okay.
So Zanazoti, a firstborn works the firstborn, fourthborn guidance. Firstborn, fourthborn, because by configuration, now I'm taking it to another level. Right?
Yeah.
I did it for the layman. Now let me do it for someone who'd come to my consultation and say I'm a firstborn. The configuration of the matrix is 1, 2, 3. Then it starts again. So you are right. So if Lingu 9, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 children.
Three
firstborns.
Yeah.
2 firstborns.
I see.
1 lastborn. So in families, you only have a firstborn, a secondborn, lastborn.
Yeah.
That's all. All families.
Yeah.
It's either you are a firstborn, a secondborn, or a lastborn.
Okay.
Then it starts again.
Yeah.
So now number 6, we know so you will know that okay. So a number 4 is a firstborn.
Yeah.
And you'll see that the firstborn, okay, and again, if you are going to use that, then when you look at most families, you can, that compatibility. Oh, you're a fourthborn, I'm a firstborn, okay. Because by right, firstborns work with each other.
Yeah.
By right.
But the man must be a firstborn Promax.
For
them to.
and let me put this disclaimer. Why am I saying that? Because the world has done too much damage to men.
To the men. Yeah.
Yes, I want to put that disclaimer that I'm not male bashing. I don't believe in male bashing. I love men, and my ministry is empowering men.
We love men. Please, we love men.
We love them. So the world, particularly black men and men in general, there has been a lot of work that has been done to displace men. True. So much that men don't know their place in a woman's life. That's another displacement that has taken place. That a man no longer knows his place in his wife. If your man is working, and can I say something soft and hard?
Yeah.
To every man that is a woman who's working, the first man of that house who she will respect more than you is anyone called a boss. No woman will respect her husband more than a boss. Swallow hard, swallow.
That is
Don't
true.
fight it. Don't fight it.
That's
another thing. Listen, a woman is always loyal to the one who guarantees her security.
So if we're in bed and you are trying to make a move,
and the boss calls,
and that annoying sound, I am definitely jumping out of bed.
Actually, you can prepare a succulent meal for her from work and prepare for her. She says, baby, I have a headache, sorry. She'll take a bubble bath and sleep.
Yes, and sleep.
15 minutes, boss calls a crisis at work. She will jump like Catwoman and say, there's a crisis at work, and she will forget the headache and go. It's loyalty to security.
How do we solve
And our job as men, the true signs of a man, buy your wife's time out of your boss economically.
Yeah.
Buy that and be that. And again, I'll say this. She may not trust black wealth again because there is no template of legacy. It's tenders, short-lived money.
Yes.
Umlungu wakamsebenzelayo, it's a 50-year-old company. It's 100. So your manhood must be consistent and tested. So most women are loyal to their bosses than their husbands. Please, you are just the second man in charge in that house. You are not the first man, because until you are the one who is covering the ultimate security of that woman, it's hard, even to submit. It's a function. And this is not just firstborns now, it's women.
Yeah.
Now, it's oh God, help me. Brothers, I think that we need to get into the classes of manhood to reclaim
that is true.
the lost masculinity that allows us to emerge, to mark territory as lions, to protect bloodlines, to protect legacy, to roar for your cubs. Because many of our cubs don't know how to roar because Mufasa died before teaching Simba how to roar. And Simba doesn't know. Simba has to find his way with the warthogs and little Pumbas, because my dad died before his time. Before he taught me how to roar, he died in the middle of the turn. And we've got a lot of Simbas who are trying to marry. Listen, sir, in the Lion Kingdom, the best hunter is the woman.
Yes.
But the one that has the first bite is the man. And he earns it by protecting her. He is the ultimate protection that she allows him to have the first bite. That's a law of nature. Most men want to have the first bite when they don't pay the price to keep her safe.
Sure.
That's why she will kill. She will not bite that thing until the king, and is earned. It's earned. Respect, sir, is earned. This thing of this woman treat me, it's earned.
And I think that's ultimately I would say that's the ultimate. You said a manual.
Yes.
That's the ultimate
Nature is
manual.
God's first Bible.
Yes.
Nature is God's first Bible. And again, Kanye, the worst thing a woman can do as a firstborn is to fully submit to a man who does not know how to handle a firstborn.
Okay.
If we teach women to submit to men, and you submit to a man who does not know, you will kill him, you will drown him. The weight of your respect will kill him permanently, because he does not have the material to receive even the love and the respect of a firstborn. Many women are frustrated by love, victims of love, because you love a man as a firstborn who does not have the capacity to carry your love, who does not have the capacity to carry your respect. If you respect him, say you are being sarcastic. That's an indication that I don't know how to decode respect for you, because I don't know how to carry a firstborn.
But also we've got, our submission is very fake. Because we want to submit in a way that will make you feel comfortable, that you will feel we are submitted, that you will feel respected.
Exactly.
And it's not the truth.
Can I say that now? Once you find yourself like that as a woman, you married wrong.
Yeah.
Anytime a woman has to submit to a man to a way he can, you married wrong. You need to submit, period. If you find yourself having to chisel, maneuver, panel beat your submission to fit him, you married the wrong man.
Yeah.
You never have to literally chisel your submission. You don't do that to your boss. You don't do that to your father. You don't do that. But when it comes to this man, say, hey, I was, already the fact that we are born to a man must be a mystery to a woman. When a man is like God.
Yeah.
You see, when you become too predictable as a man for a woman, you become boring. A man must always be a mystery to a woman, so that the woman can render that worship to you. And I want to say this to women now. Scripture says, women, submit to your own husband as unto the Lord. If a woman does not know how to submit to a man, duplicate your behavior to God, to your man. That's exactly the same way. You never give God more than you give your man.
Yeah.
So if you don't know submission, what you do for God, do it for your husband.
So if I can't say father to you, then the submission is fake.
If you can't say father, you can't submit. The third one, what must a man do to cover a firstborn when they have the image of God? When a man reflects God, submission from a firstborn becomes easy. Because if she sees God in you, if you taste like God, if you speak like God, if you feel like God, I want to say this one, man must constantly remain a mystery. When you are predictable, when a woman can decode you, you have lost the essence of her submission. God is a mystery. You must be a mystery. God is a mystery. Be a mystery to your wife. Be a mystery to your children. You have to be that mysterious cloud that you are ever evolving, so that she's ever attracted to you. Don't be predictable. Once you are predictable, a man, be consistent but mysterious. Because if you lose, and guess what? We've got too many common men. Oh, common men are for lastborns. Common men are for girls. When we talk about firstborn women, you must have God-like masculinity.
God-like masculinity.
That's the cure, sir. If you don't know how, get trained in it. You can. Just like, actually, a man must be trained like a queen. How they train kings to handle a firstborn.
Yeah.
A firstborn is an enigma. A firstborn is an ambassador of the bloodline. A firstborn is a platform. A firstborn is a mountain. A firstborn is a deep sea. A firstborn woman is a mystery herself. A firstborn is a test of masculinity. A firstborn is an examination to being a man. A firstborn is an examination to being a father. A firstborn is an examination to being a son. All these tests are all intricately in the womb of a woman who's a firstborn. So when you are dating a firstborn, you are going through a university that literally will regulate you whether you belong or you don't. And the problem is that we literally write false exams in dating. It advertises a product marriage doesn't offer. By the time you're in marriage, the one marking the exam says, okay, I will fix this project. You talked about a healer.
Yeah.
Firstborn women are hospitals. No man stays in hospital. So when they are healed, you're actually upgrading a man for another woman.
Yep.
And when a man fails the test of dating and marrying a firstborn, he's a patient for the next woman.
Sure.
You will permanently damage her. Yeah, that's a fact.
He'll go and bleed on the other woman.
Yes. A man lives in between women all his life.
Yeah.
He lives in between his mom and his wife. He comes from his mother's womb. He goes into his wife's womb to reproduce himself.
Yeah.
He goes to his mother's breast for milk. He goes to his wife's breast for life. So if you look at the basallating configurations, you are constantly that's why men, they say they're always looking for a woman, because without a woman, a man starts to die. And a firstborn woman is a life source, but a man must know it.
Sure.
He must know it.
Yeah.
And this is the healing message for firstborns. Come to terms with what life has done to you. Come to terms with your syndromes. Come to terms with your relational failures. Stop owning your pain. Stop owning your failures.
Yeah.
Understand that life has not configured good settings for you. Overcome them, write a new narrative. If you don't do that, you will be a victim and create victims, because hurt people tend to hurt. And that's how cycles and patterns proliferate themselves.
Speaking of healing, we are hosting a inner child healing retreat. That's coming up. The details will be on a link on the description box, and I think on all our social media platforms, on the bios, there will be those details. If you were touched by this episode, if you relate to any of the wounds that we were talking about and eventualities that you are seeing in your own life here, please do attempt to invest in that retreat and see if you can get help. So it's the inner child healing retreat that we're going to host, and we still wish you grace. We still wish you the frequency of truth, enough to look at yourself and your loved ones and those around you, and to make the positive change required for you to build a better legacy, to heal from the one that you inherited and get the one that you are going to be proud to leave to the next generation. This has been the Legacy Collective with Khanyisa. Bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I love you. Bye.